And I guess me and Brandon
Hey,
are on the side.
I'm Brandon.
We've been together for quite a while, and we're both musicians. And we started a music project with originally some songs from Brandon.
Oh, nice.
And you have a special guest there with you too.
Yes, this is Stevie. She's tired, but she doesn't want to go sleep. So she's with us tonight.
The band manager, right?
My name is Raphael. Yeah. Okay. My name is Raphael. I'm the drummer. I met these guys through a ad on Craigslist. I auditioned to be the drummer in the band, and I got the part. I got it.
That's
Yeah, we were
awesome.
looking for a house cleaner. Turned out he played drums.
Nice.
I can do both while whistling, my friend.
That is awesome. So how long? So how long together as the three-piece have you guys been?
As a group, we've been together for roughly 2 years. Raphael only came into the picture just over a year ago, I believe.
More than
Correct
that,
me if
because
I'm
it's
wrong.
been a year of pandemic. So
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been like 2 years, man. Yeah.
Yeah, this whole
yeah,
last year doesn't exist to me.
Right. No, it's true.
Crazy, crazy.
That's awesome. Your guys' last single, Supersonic Jesus. How was the experience in recording that? Because it's a wicked, wicked song. I dig it.
Sandrine, you want to go on that one?
sure. We really want to stay active regardless of the situation in the world. And one of the best ways to do that is record. So last summer we went and recorded this single all in one day at our producer's house. He was kind enough to let us camp in his yard. And we basically pushed through all the takes in one day and actually lost a bunch of takes and had to go and retake them.
Oh wow.
And it was fun. I mean, it, yeah. If he's listening, he's gonna be like, "Oh no."
It will never be forgotten.
But I mean, that stuff happens, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, it's an energetic song, and we really wanted to put it down. And I mean, recording a whole album, we have what it like the songs, but we don't have the means to record it. So
Yeah.
we're going song by song for now, and that was the last summer song, basically.
Yeah. It's funny because you guys sent me your band, and I listened recently when I got the audition, and the song's been played in my house before your guys have sent me the song because it goes
Oh,
on.
Oh,
really?
really?
Yeah, I've heard it on a playlist on the YouTube, so it was kind of funny because we both heard it and we're just like, wait a second. So yeah, it was pretty funny when I got to say that I get to interview you guys today because I'm like, hey, that's kind of badass. I got to hear him on YouTube for like I think around December. It was in the house going on, so it was really cool.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was very like,
Yeah, speaking of Supersonic Jesus, we've got a video for that coming out any day now.
oh sweet.
Yes, actually, the guy that made that video is moving to BC like next week.
Oh wow, hey.
So he's wrapping this up before he leaves, and we're super excited. He got to experiment more with, spoiler alert, some animation, and we're really excited to put it out. It kind of gives another boost to the song, I find.
Right.
It's really exciting.
That's one of my favorite parts of being a musician is the putting video to the song, the visual to the audio. It's such a cool concept because so many bands take it in weird ways and they do these unique things. And I think you can, there's never too many ideas with music videos. They're like my favorite part of the art besides performing and writing. It's just there's something cool about music videos. I don't know, they captivate me. They always have kind of captivated me.
Yeah, I don't know if it does that to you, but I feel like when we write songs, I can almost immediately have images in my head. And if I had $1 million, I'd make some crazy movies, my friend. Like it's really like easily imagery comes really easily in my mind, and yeah, it's for sure an extra. So it's not like, you don't have to put out a music video, but I feel like I don't know, it really adds to it in my mind anyway.
And some songs really deserve it.
True.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, I find that some songs you can express so much more with a video than you can through the actual lyrics sometimes. So it's a really unique thing. I
Hmm.
love it. So you guys said you're in the midst of working on your songs just slowly one by one.
That's not necessarily true. That's what we've been doing in the past.
Oh, okay.
We do have one new single that's coming out soon. It's in prod right now. We've already recorded it. It's just being mixed and mastered as we speak, probably. Um, so we don't have an exact release date on that yet, but I know it'll be in our hands by the end of April.
Oh, wicked. That'll be fun. I love that feeling, but I hate that feeling at the same time of having something to release but not being able to and announce it. You're just like on the edge. So I always find that like the worst part
Yeah,
of releasing a song. You're just like so antsy. It's like Christmas. It's Christmas Eve, but you just can't sleep.
that's exactly
Yeah.
it. And we've got a bunch of other stuff that we're writing right now. We've got a lot of songs in the canon. So after this single comes out, I think we're going to start working on a full album.
That's awesome,
Exciting.
right? That's
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah,
fun part.
very exciting.
Getting to write the full album is always
Yeah,
the
because it's
dream.
different to
Go ahead.
well, that's it. Like you can see it like as a whole instead of just like bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Oh, can't
No.
wait to do that actually.
Right? I know that's we're just finishing up. Well, our EP is basically finished up. We're just trying to figure out full release date and do all the magic behind the scenes for it. But it's always such a good feeling when you get to that point and you have it in your hand almost. You know what I mean? It's humbling. You just kind of like everything, all the struggle, all the way
Yeah.
up to that moment. Just it makes sense and it makes it worth it.
Oh yeah.
Are you guys planning to
Yeah.
as soon as?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sandrina was even mentioning.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. No, Sandrina was mentioning like the recording of Supersonic Jesus, for example. It was pretty intense actually, because we camped there and we were like from morning to evening just going on recording. And it seems like, I guess, for people that don't really know or like don't really understand how that part, like that process of music, how that's made, it sounds like it's just fun, but it's actually, it's a lot of work, carrying stuff, setting everything together, miking, sound check, whatever, getting all of that stuff. Man, it's a lot of work, but
Bro,
it's
I can
something that we
relate.
just love doing, right? I
Right?
mean,
Drummers have it the worst. I'm just gonna put that out there right now. All right, so I feel for you.
yeah,
You've got like, especially if you've got
nobody understands us, man.
no, dude, I know, right? Like it's bad, but sometimes it's funny because like you just like you've got this giant kit and you're like people look at you like, "Really? Do you need all that?" And you're like, "Yes, of course I need all that. Who wouldn't?" And I always find that the best because
Exactly.
I've got like a massive 14-piece drum kit and it's just like I
Wow.
can't do anything with it, it's in storage. So it's a good feeling when you get to bring it out and you get to carry it around and put it in the studio and then bang the crap out of it in the studio. It's like, yeah,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
it's the
Yep.
best
I'm
feeling
with you.
ever. How is the scene in Montreal pre-COVID?
It's pretty good, I guess. I mean, pre-COVID, things were doing all right. We've lost a few venues in the past year, that's for sure.
But other than that, I find that like people before COVID anyway, and hopefully after even more, like they're really excited to go to live shows. So there's all sizes of venues, and the crowd is really diverse, I find. And so yeah, it's pretty good, but that's it. That's kind of we almost forgot. Oh
Right.
God.
And it's funny because
But yeah,
from what I've always heard is Montreal has the strongest music scene in Canada. But it's the I found.
Montreal has a huge metal scene.
Hmm. That's what I've heard, that and it's super tight knit. I've heard it's really,
well,
everyone
not
helps
just
each other.
metal.
I definitely
I
find that,
I mean, it's
yeah.
really easy to book a show and find bands that are gonna do it and promote it, and it's like, yeah, for sure. Like, you want to play, you can play. There's no like, you're gonna find some other bands that fit the bill that are willing to give you your shot. You wiggling?
No, it's true. And it's funny because I've interviewed a ton of bands from all over the world, and I've a lot of the bands have said that the local scenes have kind of deteriorated in the past 10 years. You know what I mean? Like they used to be really tight knit, and people used to work together, and now it's kind of like there's little cliques in the genres instead of bands working together, despite
I find
genre.
it's very clicky here.
Is it? Has it become like that too?
No, there's a lot of that here too. Yeah, from my experience, yes, 100%.
It's weird because the only place that I've found out of all the places I've interviewed so
I mean, I
far.
think
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, I think it's kind of natural that people like that are really into metal are gonna gravitate like in that scene, and the punk rockers more in that scene. But there's no like hate on and on each other at all. It's just like there's a bit of everything. You can easily find a fit, but of course, like people tend to hang out more with people that have similar tastes. So I guess the cliques kind of form each other
Mm-hmm.
naturally, organically.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, it's definitely, you've seen it become more and more present in the past 10, 15 years, I find, especially in Canada. But of all the um, places that I've heard worldwide that has the tightest scene that actually genuinely helps each other is Texas. And their music scene is just like
Oh yeah.
absolutely amazing. And I'm like, I want to go to Texas. That's the first spot on my tour list is Texas for sure. Have to hit it up. Excuse me.
Yeah,
How
I'd love to get out there.
right? Like it would be so fun, and it's such a big area. You could hit so many different places. Like they have three major scenes, so like that alone is awesome. You got Dallas, Houston, and then you have San Antonio, and that's like hell yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's three of the tightest areas of music, and all the bands help each other. So it's really cool to see um, that there's like slowly a bit of a change going on, and I think now that COVID's coming out, like from what I've heard down there, the turnouts are amazing. So it kind of makes me hopeful. Like I'm very hopeful that when things open up, shows are going to just be killer for us.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, like people, I'm sure people can't wait to just get back out there, you know?
Yeah,
I
no.
know that when we played, we had the chance to record a live session at one of the venue in Montreal, and just stepping in the venue was so like nostalgic, and I don't know, I felt so lucky to be there, and I'm sure like everybody's gonna feel it. Everybody's gonna end up crying and being just so happy to be there, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Stevie, calm down.
No, I can totally see that happening. Is just like the moment the first show, the final song, the thing you're just ringing out. You know what I mean? Drummers getting the final fucking hit done. Part of my language, and you hit it, and everything just kind of like freezes, and all the crowd's face freezes, and the whole everything stops, and then just like one single tear. Happiness. We're finally back. that, that's how I picture
That's
it.
Yeah.
Like
it.
I'm totally gonna cry. I
Yeah.
have a feeling I'll cry for sure. Your guys is
Oh, me too.
have you guys managed to come out to the West Coast yet, or have you only managed to perform around the Montreal and Ottawa?
Not yet, but we wanna go. Book us.
Right? Yeah, no, we
We were
will for
gonna
sure.
plan some small tours in Canada. Yeah, we were gonna plan some small tours in Canada right as COVID hit, so that kind of put an end to all of those plans, but nothing was set in stone. So once we're allowed to, we are definitely getting out there.
I have to say, Austin as well. Austin, Texas. Thank you, Jeremy. Somebody in the comments posted, we can't forget Austin. So I had to throw that in. You guys, so you're playing, you want to make it this way. That would be wicked. I could definitely see your guys' style
Yes,
being picked up well in the Okanagan for sure. There's a lot of
Cool.
we're ready.
no,
Let's do it.
I don't
Let's
want to
do it.
say like a lot of punk, but there's a huge diversity of rock bands and metal bands in Kelowna, and they all tend to work together. So like they'll book random shows with all different types of bands, which is I find that's the coolest thing because then you get like each band's fan base, and they all can, like get to know each other, and I think that networking is what's key and what we used to do. And I always talk about it. It's just like I feel that in reality we kind of got lazy as artists with each other and shows, like we expected, oh, we put on a show, Facebook event, we're good. We don't really have to worry, it says 300 people are coming. But in reality, you get like 10 that show up and then we seem disappointed. In reality, it's like we didn't necessarily make an effort to do anything to fix that. So, I mean, we need to work together to build that up as a team again because the only way to do things in a small underground scene is together because there's no one paying for it. No one's putting anything together but the bands, right? So when you kind of limit yourself to the little cliques that you can work with, it really limits you to the amount of crowd you have. Because obviously, if you're in this little clique, you're going to have the same amount of fans. They're all going to like you. So you got to work with other genres, I
The
feel.
same fans.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So it's you just kind of you gotta appeal to more people, and I think that that's what's cool about Kelowna's music scene is there's gnarly heavy metal, and then you've got like wicked Zeppelin esque bands that are rock. You know what I mean? So and they all work together, which is a cool thing. And I noticed that over the years, that itself kind of like slowed in the past 5 years, 10 years that I've been performing there, and now due to COVID, you see online with all the groups and stuff that we're all in, like there's a huge push for bands to help other bands and work with each other and network now. And I think that's perfect. That's exactly what we need to be doing coming out of COVID because booking agents and stuff like that, they're not going to be booking. And if they are, they're going to be booking ones that are going to be making money. So like we'll be booking our booking agents, you know what I mean? So the more bands you get to know and make friends with, the more cities you have to play in. So that's like how my theory is, you know what I mean? Is just, I don't know, be friends with everyone as best you can, help everyone out because in the long run it comes back. So I find the Canadian scene slowly getting stronger. And I'd like to
For
see.
sure. Brandon is really into that community. Actually, you've started during COVID. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brandon, but starting to share not just our stuff, but like every single band that you actually cherish and like and enjoy, like also share those things, because if you only share your stuff, first of all, people get bored. And also, like, it doesn't even represent who you are because I mean, what you listen to clearly has an influence on what you do as well. And I
Yeah.
don't know, I find it pretty cool that he started like with Pick of the Day, where he would pick a band of Montreal and then he broadened it to a bigger area because he got through all the bands at some point.
Yeah.
But it's good, like promote each other and push each other for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, even the fact that Brand reached out to me, you know what I mean? Like to come on the show, like, hell yeah, I'm totally down. That's what I'm all about is I want. I always say like I want to make a global network. It's the easiest way to describe
Yeah.
it. I want all the bands that I've interviewed to be able to message each other and be like, "Yo, let's do a show," and they kind of have that
Yeah.
in already because they were all on Enigma. You know what I mean? So for me, I just we the way we look at it is if we can connect the scene and the community, then the community itself can grow as a whole instead of just focusing on one area. Like the whole scene
Yep.
needs to grow. So there's a lot of people that push for that too, and I love that there's a lot of podcasts and podcasters and bloggers and stuff, and there's just a lot of people taking it into their own hands since COVID, and it's a beautiful thing because we need that independence in all aspects of artists, especially as musicians, because we're really realistically we're the we're the least appreciated. I feel in the art world. That's just my opinion. I find that that's the sad fact and reality of it is because
There's musicians, and then there's like mimes.
touche, touche. Okay, I take it back.
So you're
Wow.
so,
Mimes are the most underappreciated artists. Man, they are so fucking talented. Damn. No, but
you're so right though. Like you have to take matters in your own hands for sure. If you wait for people to work for you, you're just gonna spend your life waiting. Like,
yeah,
what else are you gonna do except do what you like? If so, yeah, for sure, you have to work for yourself. And I'm sure, like, if you just keep putting it out there, and it's coming back at you one
mm,
way or another at some point. So
yeah. Sometimes you just
it's
have to
the only
take
thing to do.
yeah. Sometimes you just have to take a giant leap of faith and just go with it and hope it
There you go.
works. And I find that a lot of bands got scared during the beginning of COVID. You know, they're like, oh no, like everything stopped. We're just going to have to go on hold and wait until it ends. But in reality, we got like the easiest opportunity to be, well, the easiest opportunity to reach out to the people who actually support us and engage them
Hmm.
versus worrying about all the politics of booking shows and getting venues. And I find that we got to sit back and enjoy the love of being a musician again, which is kind of a grace. It's been a saving grace for a lot of bands. Definitely tough at the beginning. Like
Yeah.
a lot of bands lost. A lot of bands were lost because of COVID, but
Yeah.
it
A
realistically,
lot of people that I know like have not even started to practice again.
yeah, right. And that's
Like
Yeah, we're
not
talking
playing
about
music
yesterday.
for more than a year.
Yeah.
That's so harsh.
Yeah, we were
That's
talking
it.
about that
We
yesterday.
were
Yeah.
sorry.
yeah, that
Yeah,
No,
we
no,
were
go ahead.
lucky enough to continue playing together, and I think we just made a point of just like pushing forward through it. I mean, me and Sandrine live together, so Raf is really the only outsider in the group. So I guess it's a bit easier for people in our situation to get together. Our studio was in our house,
mm-hmm.
so I mean, we pushed through it. We never stopped. We just kept going, continued writing.
Yeah, we stopped for maybe the first like 3 months or something because everybody kind of like the world stopped spinning for the like the first 3 months. But
Yeah,
after that, it was like matter of mental health to just keep playing at some point.
yeah,
Yeah, we need it.
and it's true. It is, and that's one thing that I've touched on in one or two episodes is how much mental health has been affected by COVID. And like in Canada, we have a huge opioid crisis, but there's no support for the arts. You know what I mean? Like there's no here's an all day festival for kids or here's a venue for live performances. It's always just kind of like they're putting up like wet houses instead. Reality, you're enabling the problem more. If you could just like focus on the arts and give them something entertainment. Like think back to the Romans, you know what I mean? Bread and Colosseum. That's how we roll. You know, keep us distracted, and we don't do stupid shit. Reality. That's Canada needs to take a step back and kind of be like, hey, we need to support the arts because the arts do a lot for our culture, our country and the mental health of everyone. You know what I mean? When this all happened, most people probably put on a playlist that made them feel good. What would you do
Right.
if musicians just said no, like we're done? You know, we're gonna take our music down, have fun with your pop music or something. You know, like I just feel that people don't look at musicians as. I still think like they look at it
I
like,
agree.
yeah, it's hard to describe. There's like a weird stigma on being a musician, like we're almost like lazy when.
And at the same time, every single human consumes music.
I guess.
So it's like the
Yeah.
most appreciated art without even being noticed necessarily. And yet it's true. Oh, you're a musician, right?
Yeah. Oh, okay. What's your fallback? Well,
Yeah,
why do
that's
I have to have
it.
a fallback? You know, like why can't this be a real job? People don't look at it like it is, but you know, you can throw white paint on a canvas and call yourself an artist. Like it for me, it's one thing that really just I don't know, it bugs me is that the underappreciation of artists and musicians and how much hard work we put into it. Just to even like have someone like your friends be like, "Oh, you're in a band. Let me hear your song." 5 seconds into it, they turn to somebody else and start talking. You know, like people don't give us the time of day, and then when we have a show, they're like, "Oh, hey man, can I get on guest list?"
So true.
Right? No, you can't. I'm sorry, but that person that I've seen at every show that I don't even know their name, they can get on guest list because they've supported. So like, it may sound like a dickish thing for me to think that way, but in reality, you can't be two faced with the people that if you want musicians to appreciate you back, I guess, because there's a lot of fans that I absolutely love, like family, because I've seen them at shows for my entire career. You know, like I can straight up say shout out to Alex and Brandy. I've seen them since my probably my first performance with the Pasties. They were probably at the house party, and they've been to every show. Like I always look out and there's Alex and Brandy, and I just love that the appreciation I have for those two for always being there is more than some appreciation I have for my friends coming to a couple shows and being like, I showed up. It's like, yeah, but there's people who genuinely love the craft, and those are the kind of fans that we need to be successful as musicians. We don't need a million fans and likes on Facebook. We just need like 1,000 Alex and Brandies. That's how I look at it. You know, they're dedicated, they're genuine, and they love the music. And I think that we need more people like that.
Yeah. And in the end, there's a lot of good music out there, and like you say, like people sometimes don't give us the time of day. But the truth is, I've always thought that music is kind of a catalyst for change, like revolutions and things like that, because every generation has some kind of style of music or something that influenced a movement, So
Mm-hmm.
it's really impossible to separate like music from culture and from like history, if you think about it, because it's always been there. So I guess maybe because of that fact, because it's always been there, people don't really appreciate it that much, like it's so accessible, and you can get it anywhere, it doesn't matter. So I can listen to this and I can change to this and I can listen to something else.
It's like the
But
Egyptian
then
hieroglyphics.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I believe that yeah, I mean, we just got to keep doing what we're doing, and eventually, uh, some people, like you say, like the thousands, they will start listening.
Mm-hmm.
They will. Somebody's gonna start listening, and I guess that's all that matters.
And that's what I love about
I
right
guess
now
connecting
too.
people. We're just
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's what I love about right now with COVID. There's a lot of movement in the world, a lot of revolution going on. And it makes me really excited because it fuels writing, and like you said, it does create revolutions. Music has always been something that has backed people's um, passion. They could always wrap around music. You know, the Beatles, Woodstock. There was always just something that was powerful about it. And I feel that maybe it was the flood of all the music over the years that just kind of started coming out. but I feel like the message disappeared, and I feel like it's come back now
Yeah.
because of COVID, and
Right.
it's kind of cool to
Right.
see because it makes me hopeful for the future because now when I mean Canada, please let us open up, but like soon as we open, people are gonna be so excited to see bands. Like I hope it's like Texas where they're just like amped. You know, they want to be there. They didn't. They because I mean everybody probably regrets their last concert because they didn't go hard enough because it was like they took it for granted. Even me, I didn't go hard enough in my last show. My neck hurt, but it wasn't broken. So it's I don't know,
If we only knew it.
right? So I find like there's a lot of hope and a lot of change going on right now, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
positive.
I don't even remember the last show that we played, aside from the live stream that we did during the pandemic, but before the pandemic, I can't even remember what the last show we played was.
I think it was a show for the new year.
Oh, God. So,
That was
yeah,
the
we're
one.
talking
Yeah. That was the one.
January 2019.
Yep, that was ours.
Yeah.
January 26th, we opened up for Bison, BC, and that was our last show. We had one more show booked for opening up for Stitched Up Heart, but it was November and everything was shut down. So it was, yeah,
Yeah.
it's sad because like yeah, it is almost hard to remember that, and that's a weird thing too because we're so used to like
Yeah, we had.
show, and then when it's like you have your final show and you don't know what's your final show, you didn't really take it in as much as you should have. So you're like, damn, how was the last show? Like I remember screaming at the beginning of the show at the crowd, being like, "Move up from the bar," because everyone was like at the back of the building. And I'm like, "What are you guys doing?" Like in my mind, I'm like, "They're gonna shut our asses down soon. Like we gotta get closer." So it was it was an entertaining concert. It was really good. But I'm craving to be on stage again. Like need it
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
because there's just
It's
there.
like Sandrine was saying before when we did the live stream from the venue. Uh, I can't remember when that was. Probably about 6 months ago. Just walking into the venue was like, oh my God, I missed this so much. Like it was such a good feeling just to be in there, to be able to go up to the bar and have somebody behind the bar handing you a beer. Just is great just to be out and in a venue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially for Montreal because you guys have had curfew for a while now, and that's a weird. That's alone even like in none of our times have we ever had to deal with a curfew, so it is weird. It's a weird change. It's a real weird
It's
change.
really, 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 really disturbing. I was dealing so not that bad with the pandemic until the curfew, and then I was like,
Uh oh.
don't tell me what to do. I found it super, super weird. Like, even though, like, clearly, like, I don't go out very late at night,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the fact that I should be stressed about not being at home at 8 o'clock on the dot, you know?
Yeah, and I don't
It's
think
really weird.
is that
Really weird.
everywhere or just Montreal or like just Quebec that has the curfew.
It's it's
Toronto has it as well,
Oh, do they?
or
Montreal,
Ontario.
yeah. In the province, Montreal is 8 o'clock, but then the rest of it is 9:30 for some reason.
Oh, weird. I know that France is six
Yeah,
o'clock, 6 o'clock p.m.
yeah, that's
They,
crazy.
yeah, it's like 2 hours before you guys, and I'm like, man, like, can you imagine being stuck on the other side of Paris and trying to get home? Like, dang, I got 15 minutes to get their shit. So, like,
Yeah, there you
right? So, and
go. Crazy.
it's weird for us, but I think there's gonna be a massive explosion of albums and bands and people looking for new bands. Like, I think people are hungry for it, because they don't. Yeah, they get like their playlists and their one song comes through, but then like I don't know. For me, I always like that'll happen, and then one song will just stop me in my tracks. I look who it is, and I go to the band, I follow, and I download the first album, and then I go and download the second album, and then I go and listen to them. Like I just you get that moment of like I want this, and I think that the more music we're putting out right now, and it starts to reach out to a lot more people, and the more that people help each other, like there's going to be a massive explosion of underground bands getting picked up, and it's going to be super fun to like 5 years down the road link up with some of these bands at major festivals because we're the ones who kept grinding, and they're just going to, the labels and festivals want us, kind of a thing. So I think that it's going to be super beneficial for any band that took the time to change their tactics up and actually embrace COVID for what it really was. And that's not a pandemic, but a break from all the craziness we had in life. Yeah, I mean, it was crazy, COVID itself, but everything flying past us so constantly and on social media and us looking, having to go to work, drive, and get groceries and come back. Like, we couldn't take 2 seconds to breathe and look what was going on at everything. And now we have that. There's a lot of change going because people are like, hey, this needs to change. This needs to change. And I think that also gave us our change in the industry, in our music industry at least. Not the major one, but in the underground. Because now we have pure independence. The competition from the major labels isn't there. They're going to take a while to get back on their feet, unfortunately, but they will. So it gives us our time to shine. So, like, whoever's pushing right now is going to get seen. So I keep telling people, just like, keep going hard. Do whatever you can. Podcasts, posts, videos, like, dance. You know, have bake-offs. Do whatever you can to keep the eye on you until this is done. Then you're good to go. Because by then, you can just start booking shows. And how many fans have you made across everywhere, right? And just networking, making friends. So it's a very key thing to do right now. Like Facebook, I keep saying Facebook is our venue. And we just finished performing. Like, we got to go out there and talk to the crowd. We got to go hustle the band. You know, we got to go say thank you. And it's the moment appreciation before the storm, not the calm, because we've had the calm. So it's time to like appreciate the people that have been there and stuck through us. They're a year of no performances. Thank them and be like, yo, get ready. It's about to go down. So I think I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
If there was anything in the industry that you guys...
We're definitely going to hit the scene hard when we come back.
Right? I mean, yeah, you're going to have to. It's going to be such an addiction. The moment, like, you even playing for a live stream, you know, like, you probably got, like, a little shaky, a little amped up, got some adrenaline, but, like, the moment you got people standing at the front of the stage, the whole thing's going to change. Like, we're going to remember exactly why we do this. And everything will just fade to dust. Like, it'll be this moment of clarity, and we're just going to be so happy, and that's just going to push us harder and harder and to work harder, because we actually, you know, we earned it. It's well-earned hard work that made it somewhere, and I think that the underground needs it. It deserves it, and it's time. And I think that that's now. If there was anything in the music industry that you guys think you would change, what do you think it would be?
Definitely streaming services, Spotify, Apple Music, stuff like that.
I was just gonna say the same thing.
They gotta start paying us our dues. These fractions of pennies is not right.
Right?
That shit's gotta change.
It kind of got like, that's it. Like, people now, they release song after song after song after song.
Yeah.
And they get pennies for them, but like, how are you supposed to finance your next song? It's a really broken.
It is. I wish that I wish like making those kind of sites and stuff were a lot easier, cause or even like more approachable. Like, you could email them and they'd be willing to talk to you back, kind of a thing. Cause I really, really I say it all the time now that me and the Epic Texan. He's a DJ or a radio DJ host. We had the first episode of our new series, Industry Talks. He's on, and we like discussed how we could fix the streaming service problem, because everyone has that problem. Everyone says it, but no one actually comes up with a solution. You know, everyone just, we need to change it. It's not possible. It is possible. Everything's possible, but it's how you approach it. And I think that Bandcamp is the best service for bands because they're genuine and they're dedicated to bands themselves, but they're like the ugly uncle no one wants to hang out with because they're just like the layout is just so gross looking. They if they were to give you the option to customize your page any way you wanted, like MySpace used to, merge MySpace and Bandcamp, you're gonna take over the whole industry. Even if it's a streaming service, you're still gonna give bands what they want. You're not gonna rip them off, and you could do it and make money. You don't have to do 99.9999999% goes to the company. You know what I mean? You could do it at 40% goes to the company and still make money paying bands because more bands would come to you willing to sign up for your service if you were willing to pay them more. So I wish
For
that
sure, definitely.
I wish
But
that
I
that was
mean,
possible.
Bandcamp is completely free, though. You don't have to pay anything to be on Bandcamp, and you get all your royalties. So they have very minimal staff, anyway, I'm
Yeah,
guessing,
but that's
that
that's
work on that stuff to be able to, leave us with the actual money.
yeah, and that's what I mean is that they're such a good team that but it's just the layout, the way it looks deters fans, like as a buyer looking at that, in a business point, you look at that and it looks like an old school 1990s website. You know what I mean? Like we gotta, if they were to just make it a little more appealing to bands where they could customize it, I think, and even leave it as a free service, but still make a profit. They could even ask you to pay, $20 a year. How many bands are out there, underground bands? You know what I mean? Like they'd make a decent money. It's not like it's crazy, but it's just that step needs to happen, and I think, like, I have ideas, but I don't know how to put them into play. So I don't understand the logistics behind it, but like I think that would be the solution, would be exactly what Bandcamp is. It's just they have to change up their style a little bit, and they could add whatever they wanted and bands would still love them. Is there anything you guys want to
Now you just made me miss MySpace.
right? No, and that's the thing. Like Tom needs to come back, bro. Tom, where are you, bro? We need you. MySpace was amazing. It really was. For what it was for bands, like maybe not for like the general person who got bored of it, but like for bands, people could bring MySpace back and bands would go back to it in a heartbeat. Like I know any band you ask, they'd be like, "Yep, I'm going back." So like if somebody was to, and then I know that there's been like famous people who have tried to buy it and get it to go again. Like apparently Justin Timberlake and a bunch of other people have paid for, and it just went to nothing, right? So it's just a skeleton online now. But just bring it back to the original that it was, and I guarantee bands would come back. Like I really do. I think it'd be just like don't go too crazy with it. Add a merch section, add a stream, a link where we could go download the music. Make it simple, and people would go to it. I think that's where the first step is, trying to like get away from Spotify almost. Not like essentially like stop using it, but like there needs to be somewhere else we can go where we can make a living. Like I know
The
Napster.
sad thing is we're forced to use these services like Spotify and stuff because that's where like the masses go, like
Yeah.
9 out of 10 people will go to Spotify, the one will go to Bandcamp. So you're forced into that position. You don't have a choice. You have to put your music on these services,
Mm-hmm.
even though you don't want to.
Yeah. And that's the sad thing, right? Like that's the demon. Like if how badly do you want your band to get heard versus how badly do you want to make a living off of it. So for
Right.
me, the
Well, I mean,
smartest,
we all just do this because we love music anyways, right?
yeah,
So,
and
That
that's the
that's
thing.
it. And so we all make this first of all to share it with people
Hmm.
because we're cool like that. All the musicians are.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
Wanna
realistically, you
make
can ask
people.
any musician, and none of us are going to care about money.
That's it.
But
That might be the
realistically,
problem.
it would be nice to like be able to make a living off of it. I feel like if I think the amount, like,
Absolutely, yeah.
you put in 20 years of your time mastering an instrument. I mean, you're a professional at that point. So, like, any other professional in an industry gets paid a certain amount. You know, like for me, if you've put in your dues and you're you're hustling, you're like, if you're at a certain level, you know what I mean? Like, you're benefiting the government, I guess I could say, or the industry. Like, it'd be cool to see them give you like a full time wage. Here's minimum wage. You're an artist. There you go. You know, go entertain. It helps the masses. Just like they pay somebody at McDonald's. You know, like it I think it would do a lot of change, but it's just getting it to that point. That's really hard. Because how do we even approach that without like every band writing a petition and signing it and giving it to the UN or something? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how you would do it, but it's just weird. I think that in time it'll change, and people now, like I said, because of COVID, people will definitely be more inclined to appreciate music again versus just like walking by a venue. Like, maybe they'll duck in, give $5 to see the first couple songs, and if they're not feeling it, they'll walk away. But they're like, you know what, cool. That was cool to see for 5 minutes. So I have faith that there's going to be a massive change in the next 6 months to a year. I'm hoping way sooner, but right, yeah. Fingers crossed, please, please. We just need to open it up. We need to play. It's That's all I care about. I just want to, like, even if it's like to 4 people, I would be ecstatic to just like hold the mic and scream. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Is there anything you guys want to say before we wrap up?
Anything we want to say? I don't know. Maybe just go check out all of our pages. Check out our website. Start with the website, www.radiummoon.com. We've got links to
That way.
everything there. You can find our Facebook, our Instagram, links to our online merch shop. We recently released some vinyls that you
Ooh.
guys can pick up.
Yeah.
What's the
Got the
damage
Supersonic
on those?
single.
Oh,
I'm not sure actually. I think the Supersonic one is 25-ish,
damn,
Yeah.
it's good.
and the EP is roughly 30, 39, I think.
That's still good. I want to get one just for the
It's
wall. I
it's
love
all on
vinyl.
demand. So yeah, that's it.
The cool
It's
thing about the Supersonic one is it's transparent.
Oh wow, that's awesome. See, that's probably like one of my favorite
And
things
it's
about now
supersonic.
that vinyl's coming back. I don't know what it is. Like,
yeah.
I never listened to vinyl as a kid, but I always appreciated what it was. And now that it's coming back, I'm like, I'm gonna have a vinyl one day. Like, my band is gonna have a vinyl. Like, that's gonna be that's it needs to go on the wall. You know what I mean? Like, that's a stepping stone.
To be honest, we mostly made it to be able to check that thing on our bucket list. Like,
Right?
obviously, it's a collector's item mostly, or if you have a turntable, a lot of people do these days. But like, we can agree that most people just buy their stuff on internet now. But to have the vinyl copy is really a bonus for us.
Yeah, and I mean, like, imagine 10 years, 15 years down the road, and you guys are like, the kids are wondering what's up. Like, hey, look, what was your band like? And you're like, well, bling, pull out this badass vinyl. Check this out. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
it's way cooler than pulling out a CD or being like, oh, here, hold up. I'm going to pull up this playlist and show you my song. Like, nah, dude, I want a vinyl. I
Yeah.
want a physical, like,
Exactly.
that's what I want to leave. I want to leave a wall behind for my kid when I'm like, of albums that I've done. That's my dream. I think it'd be badass.
Yeah, that would be badass for sure.
That's the dream.
Right? Well, when you guys release some more music, let us know and we'll have you back on for another live.
Yeah, stay
Yeah,
tuned for
stay
that.
tuned.
It's coming soon.
Yeah, super excited.
Lots of
'cause-
stuff coming soon.
Yeah.
New video,
right?
new music, album in the works, tons of new stuff coming.
Yeah.
Boy.
Get amped,
And we
people.
can't wait to go see you guys in person when we're allowed to.
Right? We just
It's
hashtag
definitely.
get Dale back to Canada. That's the thing. Our lead guitar player is he lives in Nottingham right now. So
Wow.
he's 8 hours ahead of us. So we're doing like day and night shifts. It's kind of weird how we're working things, but it's been working out nicely. But yeah, hashtag get Dale back to Canada. Norm's probably in the chat right now writing it down. So yeah, when you guys release that, let us know. We'll definitely have you back on.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us.
No worries, guys.
Thank you so
Anytime.
much.
All right, you guys have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
Peace.
Stay safe.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. That was
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having us, man.
anytime, man. I really enjoyed that, and I always enjoy doing Canadian bands because that's, I don't know, it's my home. I want to help as many bands locally as I can worldly. So definitely let me know when you guys have some
Well,
more
it's
stuff coming
always
up.
good. For sure. Sorry about the noise. I don't know how
Oh.
bad it was on your side.
Honestly, I've got a baby on the way in like a month. It's coming, so like I'm okay with it.
Oh,
Kids,
get
kids
ready.
are awesome. Yeah, right? Like,
Congratulations. It's
thank
beautiful,
you.
but it's just very overwhelming.
I'm excited because I have a feeling it's gonna be like me as a kid, and I was a total gong show. So I'm excited to get my karma from my mom. So I will talk
That's
to.
it. My mother always tells me she's making you pay what you did to me.
Right, exactly, and it all comes back. It all comes back around. All right, well, I'll keep in
Circle of
contact
life.
with you guys, and